Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Tuesday, 10th June 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Entity at Piarco International Airport in Trinidad and Tobago, victim of daylight robbery. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. A brazen robbery inside the Piarco International Airport late on Friday night has prompted an active police investigation. The incident occurred late on Friday in close proximity to the arrival gate inside the airport. Sunil Lala of TTT News reports.
The airport's authority said it has implemented further measures to reinforce its security systems at the Piarco International Airport following a late-night robbery on Friday night. According to an official release from the airport's authority of Trinidad and Tobago, the robbery occurred at approximately 10 p.m. at the Pita Pit outlet inside the airport, which is near to the arrival gate on the southern side of the building. Employees of Pita Pit reported that an undisclosed sum of cash was stolen during the robbery. No injuries were reported. TTT News reached out to Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Eli Zakur, who confirmed that he has been briefed on the situation. Via a WhatsApp message, he noted that the airport's authority has redeployed its existing security manpower and resources to mitigate against further threats of this nature. Plans are also in place to increase security manpower at both the Piarco and ANR Robinson International airports. In addition, the authority has also reached out to the Estate Police Association and partner agencies in the Ministries of Homeland Security and Defense to effect a more direct involvement with a view to establishing a more long-term, permanent and sustained presence at the airport. While the incident marks a rare breach of security at the Piarco International Airport, it comes just less than 2 months after a man was gunned down just outside the airport after arriving to TNT on a flight. He was reportedly walking toward a vehicle when gunmen alighted from another vehicle and opened fire. That incident took place in mid-April. Sololala, TTT News.
In the meantime, let the law take its course. That's the view of economist Dr. Roger Hussain as the standoff continues between the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago and the government over access to foreign exchange data. Finance Minister Dave Tanku is also weighing in. Renessa Cutting of TV6 News reports.
Information about this country's top foreign exchange users. Well, TV6 News asked the Finance Minister can the government compel the central bank to release information about this country's top foreign exchange users? Well, TV6 News asked the Finance Minister what is to be the government's next course of action in light of the bank's statement that it is legally limited in what it can share.
Is that whatever action we take as a government to ensure a more transparent, equitable distribution and allocation of foreign exchange in Trinidad and Tobago will be the result of significant research and public and private consultation. It is obvious that the honor system established and maintained and promoted by the former PNM administration has not worked to the benefit of the economy, has not worked to the benefit of small and medium-sized enterprises, and certainly has not worked for the benefit of the national community. We simply cannot continue to do business like this.
Meantime, economist Dr. Roger Hussein believes the matter could be heading to court.
We would have to wait and see what options are available to the Prime Minister to pursue this information and let the law take its course. I think the law would have to take its course on this matter. I don't think there's any other way that it could be approached. And whilst the Prime Minister and the Central Bank Governor would work out their legal issues in the court of law, as the case may be, I think there is a much bigger problem that we need to address, and that it is why it is insufficient attention was paid to stimulating the inflows of non-energy foreign exchange.
Hussein says the situation is at a dire stage.
Given that the stock of reserves in the country has been falling, given that external debt has been rising, and given therefore that the difference between the stock of reserves and external debt is now down to about minus $273 million, I think everybody in Trinidad and Tobago is concerned, including the new Prime Minister. As a consequence, you would like to understand who are the biggest users of foreign exchange.
He believes addressing crime could go a long way in remedying the situation.
Whilst at the same point in time, putting in place corrective measures to ensure that within a 2-year period, manufacturing activity can increase, the e-tech park system can perform, that is in a mess, remittances inflow could improve, and tourism inflow revenues could improve as we lower the crime level.
Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
Days after embattled businessman and presidential hopeful in Guyana, Azruddin Mohammed released alleged WhatsApp exchanges with President Irfan Ali over the clearance of a luxury Lamborghini. The president is now denying any wrongdoing or direct involvement in the vehicle's tax valuation process. Tiana Cole of HGP Nightly News has more.
President Ali on Thursday night stated that he was never provided with the actual invoice for the vehicle. He said he simply directed the businessman to GRA.
I don't have any authority on taxes. Any citizen can raise any issue with me. Those matters are forwarded to the relevant agency. The agency is what makes decision. And if a document is falsified and brought to an agency or sent to anyone, then what do? We have to wait until we get the true and correct document.
He further stated that the WhatsApp messages shared by Mohammed showed minimal interaction between the two.
The duplicity and dishonesty, I would not be part of that. This guy can claim whatever he wants, but the truth is glaring before him.
On June 2, Mohammed released what he claims is evidence that President Ali allowed his luxury vehicle to be cleared by customs using a valuation he submitted. And the businessman took to social media Monday morning and published a series of WhatsApp exchanges between himself and the president regarding the car's importation.
So I sent Irfan these messages. Chief, if I sent to register the Lamborghini to the license office and station, told them not to register it until he gives instructions. Chief station stressed me in the old man over the last 5 years and stuff all about out of us when PNC was in power. First time I ever hear that the Commissioner General got to know when a vehicle registered. He said will be dealt with. I responded, okay, Chief, thanks.
Mohammed appeared in court late last month, charged with false tax declarations and under-invoicing a luxury vehicle. He pleaded not guilty and was released on bail. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Turning our attention now to Jamaica, where Financial Investigation Division investigation leads to charges in $1 million pension fraud. Details in this CVM News item.
2 public sector employees have been charged in $1 million pension fraud scheme following a joint investigation between the Financial Investigations Division, the FID, and the JCF's Constabulary Financial Unit, the CFU. Ms. Dorrit Mullings, an administrative assistant at the Institute of Jamaica, and Orion Satchel, a life certificate officer employed at the Accountant General's Department, the AGD, have been charged with multiple offences arising from the unlawful diversion of pension payments. Mullings has been charged with possession of criminal property, receiving stolen property, and conspiracy to defraud. Satchel faces charges of conspiracy to defraud and misconduct in a public office. Investigators revealed between March 2017 and May 2018, Mr. Satchel requested and manipulated life certificates for various pensioners whose banking information was fraudulently changed to reflect an account held by Ms. Mullings at a local credit union. Now, this allowed 17 pension payments totaling over $1 million Jamaican dollars to be funneled into her account. The funds were withdrawn shortly after each deposit. The accused were arrested in April and May 2025, then formally charged following question and answer sessions with CFU investigators. The Revenue Protection Department, the RPD in the Ministry of Finance, and the Public Service identified the abnormalities pursuant to the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, and shared the relevant findings with the FID. The RPD's insights were instrumental in tracing the financial irregularities and identifying the perpetrators, as we hear from Commissioner of the RPD, Cranston Morgan.
At the RPD, one of our primary roles is to investigate, detect, and deter fraud and corruption involving government revenue. We take a multifaceted approach to protecting revenue through direct investigations, supporting other agencies, and strengthening systems to prevent abuse. This case is another demonstration of the critical importance of cross-agent collaboration in detecting and addressing fraud. It reinforces our commitment to protecting public funds and ensuring that individuals who attempt to defraud the state are held accountable.
While delegates to the Global Sustainable Islands Summit participated in the Finance Forum in Charlestown, Nevis, summit organizer, Island Innovation Chief Executive Officer James Elsmore spoke with Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline on the expected outcome from the crucial discussions and presentations made in relation to financing sustainable development projects.
What will happen after much of the discussion? What goes forward? Because I think that it's not just about talking, it's about doing something. So what happens next?
So this forum specifically is focused on subnational island regions. What that means is all islands around the world are on the forefront of climate change adaptation. And that means that they need funding to adapt, whether it's building seawalls, rebuilding after storms or hurricanes, or just coping with higher levels of heat, all the different impacts of climate change. So how do islands facing those issues adapt to them? Now, there is one group of islands called the Small Island Developing States, which there is not enough funding for, but there are at least some provisions being made for. But many other islands that are here don't have those provisions. And so the conversation we're really having today is bearing those issues in mind. What can be done from the private sector, from banks, from philanthropy, from all these other angles? Where else can the finance come from? Because we're seeing also change in geopolitics, where development budgets are being shrunk. The word climate in some countries is becoming less used. And so with all these changes, we need to rely on multiple sources to make sure that that finance is available. So coming out of this, there is a gathering of different policymakers from a range of different places. We're working with representatives from those different institutions on really just starting the conversation. This is the first forum on what are the opportunities to use those. And then coming out of that, the idea is for some kind of declaration declaring the needs of subnational and island regions when it comes to climate finance.
The next Global Sustainable Islands Summit will be held on the Canary Islands. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.